Yo, what's going on, guys? Just wanted to give my trade recap for tonight. A bit of a late one, not gonna lie, but I knew I had to make this video just because I took a trade today. Um, Today is Thursday, the 27th of November, and today was a loss. Unfortunately, it was a loss, but I will kind of break down my thought process and kind of why I took the trade I took, and yeah, so. Starting off on like the high time frame, we're obviously in a bullish kind of trend here. As you can see that we had this huge breakout to the upside. And I was like, okay, cool. Like ideally, um, ideally, I don't want to go long here. Which I was coming into the market. I was looking for shorts, but we did print a 1 hour fair value gap here. So my thought process was, okay, cool. Do you see how we had that big drop down? Right. And I'm like, okay, cool. It's probably to fill an imbalance. We also had an imbalance down here. And we came up, filled this 1 hour fair value gap, right? Charter displaced down. As you can see, like we filled this 1 hour fair value gap on this candle here, and we continue to continue to oh we continue to push up from this fair value gap here. So and on that move up, we did create a 1 hour bullish fair value gaps, and my overall bias was longs. So honestly, I wanted to see that, hey, like even though we still are within this 1 hour fair value gap, we also printed a bullish fair value gap. So I wanted to see what price did kind of in that area, right? Once price tapped, oh, like price was already kind of in this fair value gap already, but I wanted to see, what we did around this area. So, that's kind of like my bias sit on the day is that, I'm willing to go short if we inverse this gap, but, if we displace from this gap, I'm willing to go long, right? Because as you can see that this fair value gap's been filled. Now it's whether we react from bullish PDA raise and disrespect the bearish ones, or we respect the bearish PDA raise and disrespect the bullish ones. So yeah, that kind of is my bias set into market open. Jumping in the lower time frame, as you can see that we had a huge move down, kind of displacing from this 1 hour fair value gap. But again, we still had this unmitigated 1 hour fair value gap, which was here. And just before market open, we close above this fair value gap, right? You see this 1 hour fair value gap, we close above it, right? We had a huge rip up to the upside. I did think that we would close below, but again, I'm kind of playing off what market's giving me and what market's telling me. And I see that we have a nice push up and close nicely above this 1 hour fair value gap on the 5 minute time frame. So I'm like, okay, cool. Now prices just close above this 1 hour fair value gap, and market is about to open. So I'm like longs could honestly work. So I had a couple draws on liquidity, right, to the downside as well as to the upside. As you can see, that we kind of weren't that far off. And if I were to do this to the downside, like it would be more of a probable kind of action to at least take out Asia highs. But again, it's one of those things where I can't really control, but I follow my trading plan. I had my bias, and I took the loss, and it is what it is. So again, we had that huge push up on the 5 minute time frame and on the 1 hour. we still closed above this 1 hour fair value gap here. So this 1 hour fair value gap was still holding. I was just looking for some sort of displacement or showing that buyers have kind of taken control here. So as you can see, we had some nice pushes up. We didn't really get a nice close above this bearish fair value gap here. But once we did get that close, we also inversed this 5-minute bearish fair value gap here. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like longs could honestly work, because now we've disrespected 2 5-minute fair value gap PD arrays. It could be a target to really go, this could be a high probable trade to go long, just because that, hey, we did react from a 1 hour bearish POI, but also on that move back up into this 1 hour POI, we did create a 1 hour fair value gap, which my bias was long, as we had that huge break up to the outside, to the upside. So, yeah, on the 5-minute, we closed nicely above here. So I'm thinking, okay, cool. Now I just need a retracement, right? And I just need a retracement into either one of these POIs, and I'm good to go. So once we did get that retracement, we got a honestly scary kind of retracement, but I did think that it would be to fill some sort of fair value gap, or like these inverses here, which we did have. So I jumped on a lower time frame, and as you can see, we closed above here on the 5-minute. We get that huge displacement down. So I'm like, okay, cool. This is a POI we could react from. And as you can see, that price tapped it to displace price even further down, tapped into the second 5-minute inversion fair value gap. I'm like, okay, cool. Now we get that deeper retracement, and we also, right, I keep forgetting to mention this, but from this leg up here, actually I should have drawn it from these lows, but anyways, from this low to this high, so this leg up, the discount was drawn, and our discount was drawn on, and our discount ended up hitting on this 5-minute inversion fair value up here. So not only are we reacting from a 1 hour bullish POI, we're overall bullish, especially for the day. And the 5-minute fib tool was drawn up from the leg up, which closed above both these fair value gaps here. And yeah, once we had discount in confluence with that, we also had an inverse of this 1 minute fair value gap here. Oh, let me just bring this a little bit more in. So again, once we get that tap into this 5-minute or the second 5-minute inversion fair value gap. Sorry guys, I'm a bit tired, but once we get that tap into that second inversion, I'm just like, okay, cool. Like, longs could still work, just because we still have these two POIs to kind of protect us as we inverse them. And we, again, reacting from a 1 hour bullish POI. As you can see, made a leg down, made a leg up, and we made another leg down, reacting on this 1 minute inversion. And on that leg down, we created a 1 minute 1 minute bearish fair value gap, which price came and closed very bullish on this fair value gap here. So I'm like, okay, cool, I'm going long. There's nothing more to it. I went long, follow my bias, and I did think that bias would look pretty good here, But yeah, again, we just end up holding this 1 minute fair value gap, which normally isn't the case. And again, I didn't want to enter above here just because my stops will be too wide. So I did think this was a pretty good trade just because, we displaced from a 1 hour fair value gap. We inverse 2 5 minute gaps. We get that retracement and then we invalidate bearish gaps again. And we close very bullish after price tried to displace from this 1 minute fair value gap here, which, we tried to displace from it. It tried to hold and we end up closing very bullish above it. It's more confluence for me to go long. So, yeah, so I went long here and I got stopped out pretty quickly. But yeah, we end up holding this 1 minute fair value gap, this bearish one, which was kind of the first presented one. And we displaced from there. And I got stopped out. So again, nothing much I can do. I followed my plan. I had a bias set. I stuck with my bias. I would say it was pretty solid bias, but I think, we just kind of aiming for high time frame targets at the moment, which is okay. It just means that, I gotta, I think I just got caught at the wrong time taking a trade. But I do think eventually we are gonna go long. Just because we have unmitigated 4 hour and 1 hour fair value gaps. Like right now we're tapping into a 4 hour gap here after this little bullish run here. So it'll be interesting to see. I do think that longs are definitely in play. It's just I think I got caught at the wrong time, which is fine. But yeah, one trade a day, call it there, and yeah, move on to the next day. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys have a blessed night.